You know, I just can't help feeling, Gabe, that this is almost a sitcom version of what the mainstream media is doing on a daily basis, of sort of trying to ennoble the base that Donald Trump has, and really sort of obsessively trying to ennoble him. What do you think having a sitcom doing the same thing? And by the way, where it was popular is just in the middle of the country. It did really well, got 18 million viewers, but it was not even in the top 20 on the coasts.
I think a lot of this, touches on the fact that people on the coast feel with the election of Donald Trump what happened to this country. And rather than actually then just highlighting his politics, which I find, offensive and out of the mainstream, it's this effort to normalize and to understand, and I put that in quotes, rather than just, again, focus on what he is actually doing to the country. A lot of this goes back to, you look at the phenomenon of J.D. Vance's book being a mega bestseller, this, obsession with, who are these people? And Frank Rich has done a lot of good writing on this in New York Magazine, that's saying basically forget trying to understand them. This is a shrinking part of the population that has retrograde views, and we should focus on how to move the country forward.
Yeah, and Rob, at the same time, because that desire to normalize, there's this powerful impulse in the media to normalize the president of the United States, to fit him into the concept of normal and to ennoble his base. We've had this long tradition of taking the white working class and sort of putting them on a pedestal, and Donald Trump did that in his campaign. A show like this, in your view, can it have the impact that Donald Trump really wants? He's so happy about it because I think he believes this will normalize him. This will ennoble his base in the minds of a lot of Americans.
Yeah, I think it can help him because you have the star of the show essentially outside the show trumpeting all of the things that Donald Trump stands for. So it's not like you can separate in television. I mean, there's room for a red state, blue state show. Certainly those arguments are going on around dinner tables all over the country. But when you take the main character and that person is a personification of Trump's point of view, then that puts that idea forward. Now, 18 million people, that's a lot of people. And when you couple that, like I say, with InfoWars and Breitbart and Sinclair and Fox and all that, you have a tremendous megaphone. This is not a dog whistle anymore. This is a dog, bullhorn here.
But stay with you just for a second, Rob, because you've worked in the studio system. You're familiar with, the sort of Hollywood system. How much tolerance would a studio like ABC, would a company like Disney essentially have for outside of her show, Roseanne Barr continuing to essentially channel InfoWars and 4chan and be a conspiracy theorist and tweeting about lizard people and Pizzagate type conspiracies? How much risk? I mean, they've just renewed her show after 2 episodes.
Right.
How much tolerance for risk?
This is the critical question here, because we saw what happened when Laura Ingraham said those things about David Hogg, and you saw advertisers, fleeing like crazy. Now you're going to have ABC and Disney, dealing with this kind of thing. They're going to have to walk a very fine line, and I got a feeling they're going to try to rein Roseanne in outside the show, because they're going to run into some very, very severe problems if you see any of those, tweets that she's putting out outside the show, because those things bleed. Audiences have a hard time, distinguishing between a character on television and something they see in real life. This blurs that line, eliminates that line.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, and we'll see how they handle it.
And she will be a very difficult person to keep under wraps and to silence. So they're going to have a challenge on their hands, apparently now for 2 seasons. Gabe is going to be back with us. Thank you so much to Maya Wiley and Rob Reiner, friends of the show. Thank you, guys. Happy Easter and happy Passover. And more AM Joy coming up.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.